know what everybody's all excited about today? Somebody help me with this?
You don't know what's going on?
Come on. I can't even hide it for 4 seconds. There's no way at all. It's the day that feels like life begins again for people like us. Opening day. And I made the mistake of referring to the first women's basketball game as opening day, and Mike Neighbors, he didn't correct me on the on the pregame. It was just like, yeah, we'll use your term there, opening day for this. Football is not an opening day, but it should be.
So I guess when you have so many games,
the first one has to be called opening day for some reason.
Oh, it has to. I mean, you got to start somewhere, so you might as well start by opening up the season.
That's right. So we're opening it up today.
Opening day.
We're opening up Eat My Catfish. This place has been open for a long time, but it's open right now for you to come and hang out, talk some Razorback sports, and get some incredibly good food, which I'm sure at some point will be on the way.
Excited.
So, Drew,
I've been talking
you're going to do less talking than usual on the show today, aren't you?
Of course, yeah.
Just a lot more digesting.
Well, we already talked about and asked all of our listeners that they're going to have to pick up the pace, because not only is it a Golden Hour Friday, it's season opening Friday.
I feel like we could turn this whole show into the Golden Hour.
It's My Gut Friday.
Is it?
What it is. So we're going to need everybody to call in, our regulars, Tuna, Cody. We're going to need Hognocious, obviously, because it's the start of baseball season. Eddie and
Real Quick
Robert, and then some new people.
Maybe Jason in Frankfurt.
I'm going to need some time to eat.
877-377-6963. Just put an APB out on all the people that would be our usual callers here for halftime. And we want to turn the entire 2 hours into 2 golden hours, because it's just, I don't know, it's just an optimistic day. It is. It really is. And that's obviously the overarching topic of conversation today is Arkansas baseball taking on Illinois State, a team that beat them the last time they matched up. That was during a little bit of a rough patch in March of 2020. Little did we know we were ready for a pretty big rough patch society-wise after that. But, I think it's a pretty good Illinois State team that is coming in for they're coming in expecting to win a baseball game or two. There's no doubt. And I think Arkansas, you can't get all up in arms if something doesn't go right the first weekend. But I do expect a sweep for the Razorbacks today. A little bit chilly this morning. When I got up this morning.
A bit, right? It wasn't Gainesville weather? You're telling me it wasn't 77 degrees like it was in Florida yesterday?
No. When we landed late last night, it was like 20.
Ugh.
And it took more effort to open my car door than usual. This morning, I had frost all over the windows, and I'm thinking, baseball today? Really? But it's going to happen. We're going to get up into the high 40s. It's going to be a sunny day, so it will feel quite a lot warmer than it really is. Unless you're in the first base dugout, those guys are going to be shivering a little bit.
Unfortunately, Arkansas is now.
That's exactly right. So there's going to be some things to get used to at Baum-Walker Stadium for the 100th year of Arkansas baseball. I mean, there's a litany of things to get used to that doesn't even have anything to do with what's happening on the field. I mean, the season ticket holders have kind of had to shuffle around based upon donation levels. You now have the Hunt Center open for operation. The bases-loaded landing up in right field where home runs can land, and a little bar set up. I mean, that's open for people, too. And the new entrance down the right field line is wide open. And they're in the first base dugout, which just is going to take a little bit of time to get used to. I was up in the booth, Drew, with Jason Carroll, who helps us with our equipment, of course, formerly Picture Nation. I'm working at Hogs Plus. And I was talking about where I go to interview Dave, and I pointed into the third base dugout. It was just a natural thing to do.
I go to my
left hand out.
Right over there.
To my left. I'm all right-handed, so I might as well just get used to doing it from the right side when I look down that way. But it's going to take a while to get used to it.
How many times do you think it's going to take for you to make the wrong turn, of heading left instead of heading right?
Well, being that I'm only working 2 of the first probably 7, maybe 8 baseball games, it's going to take a while. Because I'm not going to be, I won't have that routine of just getting used to it again.
Muscle memory of your legs going right instead of left.
That's right. So I mean, I can't wait to get this season started. I mean, even if Arkansas didn't have high expectations and a ton of success over the years and a great coaching staff.
Opening day is just exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's college baseball, which is what we have here in Fayetteville and across the country today, all throughout the Southeastern Conference, or it's Major League Baseball. It's the one day everybody is 0-0, and whether you're projected to finish first or last, there's that hope. You have that hope of, well, especially in the game of baseball, that anything can happen. Every day is a new day, and just because one team won 9-1 the day before doesn't mean that they're going to come out and do that again. Like, that's the great thing about baseball. And when you have opening day, it's just that hope and that childish feeling of in the air of anything can happen. The real world can't ruin today because it's opening day and anything can happen.
Bubba's more the childish one.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to be childlike in that case. He's ready to go too. He already sent me his usual opening day, let's have a great season text, and he reminded me if he doesn't send that, then Arkansas is going to have a bad year.
Oh, of course.
Already, you don't want to ruin things before the first pitch.
Got to follow the superstitions.
Baseball is, I think, the only sport where optimism always abounds on opening day, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what. It's tough sometimes to be optimistic about a football team if you kind of have a sense. Basketball the same way, but baseball, hey, man, you're an Orioles fan.
And I'm
still
get optimistic every year.
I still am fired up about opening day for those teams, but, a week later, I'm thinking differently.
Well, not for the Orioles. They always start off hot. They'll start off 7-2 or 9-1 through the first 10, and you think, man, this is our year, finally. We've been waiting since 2014, the last time you won the division. Been waiting since 1983, the last time you won a World Series or was even in the World Series. And then you get to about the third week of the season, and then just pew.
So then take this perspective and transport it to this Razorback team right now. So the optimism should abound. I don't know, all year long.
Yes, of course.
It really should, with the lineup that's going to be constructed, and we get a chance to see it for the first time today. And the pitching is going to be the thing that I'm no longer nervous about it. Okay. I'm no longer nervous. I mean, I'll go ahead and say, yes, the pitching's a question mark, but I'm not nervous about it right now because I trust this. I trust the coaching staff. I trust Matt Hobbs. I trust Dave Van Horn. And a lot of times, man, I mean, things just sort of work their way out. And people would say, I mean, last year the pitching staff didn't necessarily work itself out, but you know what? It did.
Yeah.
It did. You had no idea that Kevin Kopps would be the dominant pitcher that he was.
Or that he'd be able to throw as many innings and come in as many consecutive games as he did.
And a lot of the numbers for the pitching staff last year were pretty good. Just didn't really get a lot of innings from your starters. And early in the season, you're really getting a lot of innings, too, before, Connor Nolan, is he going to be out there for up to 80 pitches or something like that? You're not going to get up to 100, the first weekend or two or maybe even three. So you're going to get a chance to see some of these young pitchers early. I saw Dave refer to Gabe Starks and Nick Griffin as potential closers for this team. It's a right-hander, Gabe Starks out of Pine Bluff with a lightning arm. I mean a real lightning arm. And a good breaking pitch, too.
98, 99?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. He's one of those guys that when
That's
he throws the ball, you notice it. And Griffin is out of Monticello, and he missed last year because of TJ surgery. And I haven't really had a chance to watch him pitch very much. Saw him at a scrimmage a couple of weeks ago, and he's got that kind of velocity, too. So maybe get a look to either one of those guys closing out one of these games, or maybe both of them over the course of this weekend.
I'm sure you will. You're going to see pretty much everybody that's got a Razorback uniform on that's sitting in that bullpen is probably going to get an inning or two. They're going to get a batter. They're going to get those innings and that experience to kind of see and show what they really have for Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs, the pitching coach, to try to establish what they have. You can simulate all you want. You can throw to live batters of your own teammates all you want. It's until you're doing it against somebody else that's never seen your stuff. You're not really sure how well you're going to throw. And until you get into a live game action with thousands of people at Baum Walker Stadium cheering you on, you don't know how they're going to react. So
That's
you're
right.
going to see those guys get the experience and get the innings that they need to kind of figure out these puzzle pieces of this pitching staff this weekend for sure, and at least leading up to conference play. Because that's, like we talked about all week, that's really when the season begins.
Yeah, this is not preseason.
It's not.
But
I
it's
mean,
kind of
they
preseason-ish.
count, but it doesn't really mean as much, I guess, if way to say, because, I mean, it's kind of redundant to say a game that you keep scoring and that actually counts to your record doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But when you get to conference play and you start to look at seeding for conference tournament, then that obviously helps your seeding into the NCAA series and where you're going to be in the regionals, super regionals, and
But look,
Omaha.
if you
that's
win,
where it starts.
If you win an SEC division, you're going to be a national seed. I think
Yeah.
it's that simple. It is that simple. So whatever happens in the
Doesn't matter,
non-conference, You win your SEC games, and look, they won 20 of them last year. That's 22 of them. That's awfully tough to do.
Yeah, it is.
You win a division, and they've either shared or won the division for 3 consecutive seasons. Not counting 2020, of course. Been a national seed for all of them.
Yeah.
Win those games. Hey, win this game tonight for today
Might
first.
as well.
Just do the first thing ahead of
if you're going to play and you're going to go out there, get all dressed up, you might as well win, right?
That's right. Might as well also text or call the show or just visit us at Eat My Catfish in Fayetteville, right up in the north part of town, close to the mall. Great food, great people, and if you love boudin balls, whenever those things come out, you're going to need to do a little talking, Drew, because I'm going to scald it. No, I don't want to do that on the day where you got a baseball broadcast. I got to take cute, tiny little bites.
Just a bit, yeah.
Tiny little bites to make sure that this inside of the mouth does not get cut up and burned and blister before this broadcast. Because talking with Bubba enough will blister the inside of my mouth, too. 877-377-6963 to be a part of the show. Jackson in Fort Smith asks, this has been the question now for like the last 3 months. How many days till baseball? 17% of one day. There you go. Bobby in Mountain Home, yay for opening day for baseball. You got that right. Zach's fired up. Dustin in Mansfield says college baseball and softball would be a lot more fun if everybody had the same opening day. Softball opens a week before. And then the reason they do that, though, Dustin, is to not have the softball conference tournament and the baseball conference tournament at the same time. I really think that's the reason that they do that. And Calvert in Boonville asking about what environment that's going to create for visiting teachers in the bullpen. I think he meant pitchers. You got your visiting bullpen is now in the hog pen.
Yes.
And that's a game changer. That's a total game changer. Nobody could heckle the pitchers in the right field bullpen because you didn't have anybody near them, not anywhere near them. You would have had to break out a megaphone to heckle those guys or just call them on their phone. Now it's
going to get interesting.
They're right amongst the fans, man. I mean, the rowdiest fans in the ballpark. And this is usually what other ballparks do in college baseball and in college basketball, too. It's like for how many of the games in college basketball is the student section set up right there next to the visiting bench or behind it or beside it?
I'd say a good 60%.
Well, that's what you're doing with the visiting bullpen now in left field. It's just that a baseball game takes quite a lot longer than a basketball game.
You get really creative by the 7th inning.
I think those pitchers might need to wear batting helmets. Not for anything that's going to get thrown at them other than insults.
Yes.
We might have to have a hard exterior. Yeah, everybody's got an idea of what will be said to these poor pitchers out in the bullpen this season.
Thick skin.
So what would you like to shout to a visiting pitcher in the bullpen? Or do you think you just make friends or maybe hand them some barbecue beef brisket?
Well, see, I'm a nice person, so I feel like I would try to be polite at first, but then as the beers and the shots get a-flowing, I could probably get pretty obnoxious, too.
Look who just showed up here on our table, Drew.
This is mine. Your stuff is over there.
They brought us both food.
Yes.
We don't have to fight for it.
We don't.
That's exciting.
It is.
All right, then we're going to step aside for a break. We're going to stuff our face and come back and talk a lot more, including the college football playoff will remain at 4 teams through 2025. Who'd have thunk that would be the case when we were talking about this in the summer? Stay tuned on Halftime.
Here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games.
In Springdale, seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
COVID-19 cases are spreading across the state. Safe, effective, and free COVID vaccines are now readily available for all Arkansans ages 5 and up. Booster shots are also available for fully vaccinated people 12 and above. The vaccines are highly effective at preventing severe COVID. That means helping keep you from being hospitalized or even dying. Get vaccinated to protect yourself, your family, and your community. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Live here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Bill, you guys have roughly about 200 pre-owned vehicles on the lot. With every single one of your pre-owns, it's a 150-point safety inspection.
And if they don't pass inspection, they don't get out on our used lot. So they're top-notch, some of the nicest cars in the area.
Come by and see us again, Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You can always check us out online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Olsen, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Oh, my goodness. What just showed up in front of our faces here, Drew?
It's so much food, and I cannot wait to literally devour all of it.
This is crab legs. This is potatoes. This is crawfish, shrimp, corn. Is this everything you guys make here? Is this like the whole shebang? The Royal Boil. Very nice. This is like a seafood smorgasbord right here. Right as the segment began, too. We got somebody on hold.
As
so
soon
Drew,
as Ryan Hot Springs starts talking, I'm digging into these crab legs.
877-377-6963 if you're interested in helping us eat. Ryan is first to do that. What's up, Ryan? Thanks for the call.
Got a little extra excited about today after I saw Connor's going to be our eighth this weekend. After how much he struggled last year, I guess his best outing was against Ole Miss in the tournament.
Yeah, I remember that. That's right. And it was I think it was a couple of innings. I don't exactly remember how many innings it was. But, I mean, Connor was not right last year from the start. I think it started in the fall, and it kind of transported itself into the spring. He had a strained forearm, and, I mean, honestly, in college baseball, you don't have enough games to be able to recover quickly enough from a strained forearm muscle to really be effective.
Starks, he's 55, isn't he?
Starks?
55 last year? Yeah.
Gabe Starks is I can ask the uniform numbers. I'm not sure. But he is you'll notice him when you see him. He's big, he's muscular. He's got
if he's who I think he is, he's huge.
Yes.
I think I've seen him in one of the midweek games last year, I want to say. And he is a monster of a man. I'm just like that. I bet that guy can put some heat down.
Starks is number 55, Ryan. You're right about that. 6'1", but 220 pounds. So he's kind of he's thick. He's thick where you want a pitcher to be thick, around the thighs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got to have those powerful legs to push off.
That's right.
But I just want to call in and say I'm excited to see Connors kind of battle through the stuff he was struggling with, and because he was pretty good as a freshman, and then last year wasn't so hot for him. But I'm glad to see him bounce back, and hope he makes the most of his opportunity. And I hope y'all have a good day, and let's go Hogs.
Brian, thanks for the phone call. Drew, how many bites did you get during that call?
I got a full crab leg down.
I can hear the food right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Got
You're allowed to do that.
Hush puppy there too.
You're allowed to do that for a live remote, or if somebody's paying you to eat on the air. I once ate walnuts on a baseball broadcast in California because we had a walnut sponsor. Yeah, I'm not sure if it came across the radio really well though, because that's really crunchy.
It's a lot of crunch.
You can tick off a lot of people that don't like that ASMR stuff when it comes to that. Let's look at Connor's numbers. So Nolan in 2019, and I'm going to just do away with the wins and losses. Had a 4.02 earned run average. Not bad as a freshman pitching in the SEC.
Not bad at all.
I mean, he was one of the guys that was out there every weekend for a College World Series team that really looked like they were prime to win in Omaha. They just couldn't hit, and it wasn't the pitching in those 2 games that they lost. 2020, 3 games. ERA was 2, but it was a little bit skewed because there were some unearned runs thrown in there, and he didn't quite look like he was ready to take that step forward, but we never know because he only pitched in – what are you going to get out of somebody in 3 games? You don't really know very much about them in 3 games.
No, I mean, in 3 games, that's just not a big sample size. I mean, that's why you play as big of a schedule as you do in baseball, because it's that type of sport to where you can't really determine who's that great in a short number of span games. Like, you can't do that in like you do in, 38 college basketball games normally. You got up to 15 college football games. It's a long span of a season that you have to really gather numbers from to see what type of guys these pitchers really are.
And then there's no need to look at his numbers from last year, Drew, because he was hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't really care how he pitched last year because I don't think he was healthy. I think he's healthy now. I think he's in great shape, and I think he's going to have a good season because he's a competitor. Remember, this is the sport that Connor chose. He was a two-way guy here. In fact, he was the one. I think he was the quarterback for one of the 4 wins for Arkansas under Chad Morris over Tulsa. It's not like he did anything big that game. They shut him out, but he chose baseball. This was the path that he chose, and that means he's looking to become a pro. In that case, this is the last chance. To really make your case, and the fact that his velocity is up from last year, I think says that he's put in plenty of the work to get to where he needs to be. It's just got to happen on the field too. And again, I'm not going to go out and say like he's going to have a bad game today, but if he doesn't throw, if he's not perfect today, if he gives up a couple of runs here and there,
it's the first game in the season.
It'll happen. I think Connor's going to have a good year. The rest of the weekend rotation, and it sounds to me like Hagen Smith right now isn't just penciled in as the Saturday guy. I think Dave's written it in some sort of ink, because he said right now it's up for grabs as the Sunday starter, and that's Jackson Wiggins. So I think they've got a lot of trust in Hagen Smith, which says a lot as a freshman. But you know what? That's what Connor did in 2019. Got a lot of trust, threw a lot of strikes. It's a different kind of a pitcher than Hagen Smith is, though. So I think Smith can be dominant. I can't wait to see what he does tomorrow at noon. Robert has given us a call. All right, Robert heard the APB, Drew. So Robert in Fort Smith has called us. And then we'll take the break, and we've got Aaron Torres coming up in the next segment. We'll dig into the college football playoff, deciding to stay at 4 teams. And I want to say deciding to, they were forced to because nobody could agree on anything.
Yeah, they were. I mean,
real quick, Robert, good to hear from you. What you got?
Real quick, guys. Like I said, I told you this the other day, Phil. I don't look for any of this team until about April.
Yep.
Because you can't tell me you go down to Round Rock and you get pounded on. You can't say, oh, well, we're not going to do anything. You know as well as I do, that SEC is brutal. I mean, Florida, Vanderbilt, come on, LSU, it just goes on and on. You start beating those teams, then you know as well as I do, you're getting a regional, and then that's when we start, So April's the month that I really think that you really got to start looking at what we're going to do,
Well, and that's usually, Robert, when things are ironed out, as far as what the lineup looks like, what the rotation looks like, who's closing. Matt Hobbs mentioned to us earlier last week, or this week, that it wasn't until early April, or the first week of April, that Kevin Kopps was really acknowledged as the closer.
As dominant as he was.
I hated referring to him as the closer, though, because he pitched so many more innings than a closer would
I mean, technically he ends the game, so, technically he closes. Now, a lot of times that didn't equal saves because, he comes in and
you got wins.
You got wins. So,
you got wins and saves. You got a lot of both.
He wasn't a traditional closer in the sense that he comes in the ninth, sits them down, 3 up, 3 down type of situation. He was a guy that you might see as early as the 6th inning. He was somebody that you had in your rotation that you knew if things got bad and you needed a guy to come in and settle it down and finish the game regardless of how many innings, it was him. Because, we saw in the Super Regional, the last game of the season, he started. And he threw 8 innings, I believe.
People were asking, should he have been a starter up to that point? And it's not to rehash the conversation or anything. It's just he was in the perfect role for somebody that could do the things that he did. You know what else is a perfect role? If you get over to Crabtree RV Center in Alma and visit our friends Bert and all the gang next to the Cracker Barrel. You know Crabtree RV. They've been serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for 72 years on a 17-acre located right there on 17 acres with a 26,000 square foot showroom floor indoors, an RV park, service and parts department right there at the junction of I-40 and I-49, all in one convenient location. A large selection of units on the lot right now. Go by Crabtree RV, and they'll make sure you get what you're looking for. And again, that's Bert, all the gang, best of the best, 7 years in a row, right next to the Cracker Barrel, Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Quick break. We are joined by Aaron Torres, who loves to call himself college baseball guy once we get into the baseball postseason. He's college basketball guy right now, so we'll dig into Arkansas versus Tennessee. Should be a great game tomorrow at Bud Walton, 3 hours after first pitch in Game 2 for baseball. And a lot of this college football playoff staying at 4 teams right after this.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas. With its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
Vivid Seats, your ticket to hold on to your hat, edge of seat sitting, bases loaded, 2 outs, half-court buzzer-beating, 60-yard Hail Marys. Hear that pin dropping? Can they do it? They did. For your team, it was nothing. Get tickets and earn rewards with Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly. Not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Takes great work ethic to make any job last 10 years, especially one in the NFL. Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. I spent 10 years playing in the NFL. Now I bring that same work ethic to Henderson Phillips to provide you and your business with the best employee benefit plans for the best prices. Call or text me at 479-651-2292 and let's talk about getting the most value for your employee benefits. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today at 479-651-2292.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Jack Williams worked the ferry on the Washita River line for $5.65 an hour. He hauled them people side to side.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
5 days, which is as much as he's stuffing his face with.
I told you
I
was going to fast before this. I didn't eat breakfast on purpose.
Was it a week-long fast or just 24 hours?
Well, I had dinner last night at about 7, so it's been since 7 o'clock last night. I haven't had anything to eat.
You ever have crawfish for breakfast?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I
Well,
mean,
you're doing it again.
I had enough tailgates to have crawfish for breakfast and shrimps and
you're doing it
and
again.
Crabs and
Aaron Torres joining us here, our friend from the Aaron Torres podcast, Aaron Torres Sports Media, Fox Sports Radio. AT, have you ever had crawfish for breakfast? We're at a seafood restaurant, Eat My Catfish in Fayetteville here for baseball opening day. So we're eating shellfish for breakfast. I can't think of anything better, to be honest. Have you ever done this before?
I haven't. I just want to talk baseball. I just need the whole scouting report, who's good, who's not. I think was Texas ranked number 1 in the preseason? Was that what I saw? Is that accurate?
Yeah, we weren't paying attention.
I think it's awful.
Yeah, I think it's awful too. Well, take your pick on like which ranking you want for Arkansas. Do you want number 2? You want number 4? You want number 7? Are you number 22? AT, I mean, we cover so much college basketball, college football, where you've got the 2 polls, and then there's net ranking, committee rankings, and stuff like. College baseball doesn't know what poll they want to go with. We've got 5 or 6 of them.
Too many.
So when you're on the official broadcast, Phil, what poll do you reference?
The best number. I'm going to go with number 2 today. Why wouldn't I? I mean, if somebody says you're number 2, then why? I guess you're number 2. Works for me. When do you officially become college baseball guy?
What's that?
When do you officially become college baseball guy? Is it now? Is it today?
Usually no. Usually when the bracket's released on Memorial Day. You know, because, I mean, come on, let's be honest. The next 6 to 8 weeks are just going to be overwhelming with college hoops. And what ended up happening last year was it all just kind of it perfectly synchronized where college hoops just, we have, I thought, a fun tournament despite limited fans. And then from there, the portal went crazy for quite a time there. And then right as things were slowing down, I'm like, what am I going to – college – they just released a bracket. And I will say, I know everyone thinks that, it's just because I come out in Arkansas. The real reason that I actually got into college baseball last year, Phil, is what was it? Was it 4 teams or 3 teams from my home state of Connecticut that made the bracket? I know that UConn made it.
Central Connecticut, a kid that I actually played high school baseball with, played at Central, and I know Central came down to Fayetteville one year. And then wasn't Fairfield in there too, where they were pining for an at-large bid or something happened? There was either 3 or 4 teams in Connecticut. That's how I originally got into it. You probably remember better than I did.
Who knew college baseball and was so popular in the Constitution state? That's so impressive. Well, let's get into some basketball here. Let's get into some
George
basketball.
Springer, World Series MVP, UConn Husky.
That's a good point, man.
True.
That's a really good point, and he's one of the best in the game
Yeah,
now. But who's left at UConn now, right? But I mean, if they made the tournament, they're good enough, and they got to be one of the better teams in the Big East.
I Googled it. Preseason pick to win the Big East, no big deal. So, listen, I know that, Bruce Pearl kind of coined the phrase, Auburn's not a football school, it's an everything school. How about my UConn Huskies, top 25 in men's basketball, women's lacrosse, men's ice hockey, and the preseason baseball favorite. I'll tell you a fun fact about UConn athletics, and then we'll stop with the UConn talk. But UConn started a D1 men's ice hockey team about 5-6 years ago, and they went and they joined Hockey East, which is essentially the equivalent of starting a baseball program from scratch, literally not having a baseball program, and joining the SEC in baseball. I would say football is the same, but football is 85 scholarships. I'm not even going to compare. But imagine a program just starting from scratch without a team, and within a couple of years is in the top 25 in the toughest conference in college baseball or college basketball or college football. That's what my UConn ice hockey team did, and that's really all I know about UConn ice hockey. So please don't ask any more questions.
I believe they call that the salad days of UConn sports, probably. So basketball here
Some
for
make
a
sense.
moment, because we got a huge one tomorrow here, Arkansas versus Tennessee. And we get to see this game twice over the next couple of weeks.
I know.
And you got two teams playing really, really good basketball right now. What stood out for you in Tennessee's win over Kentucky, and what do the Hogs have to watch out for?
Well, it's interesting because, I think, we all do this, right? We're in the media, and not even the media, fans, everybody. You want to overreact to everything, but college basketball is just, look, sometimes it's February, it's a conference game, and another team you're just not winning, right? Maybe you could say that about Auburn, is that at some point Auburn was going to take a loss, and they walked into the toughest environment they played, and it just happened. And that was kind of my reaction to the Kentucky-Tennessee thing is, one, Kentucky again had a key player out with injury, and I'm starting to wonder if we're just at the point where they have 3 SEC losses, all 3 on the road, all 3 with key players missing. Maybe they're just an injury-prone team. I don't know. But, 2, Tennessee got embarrassed when they played at Rupp about 3 weeks ago, and they haven't lost an SEC game since. And so I just felt like it was one chip on their shoulder. They're upset. They got embarrassed. And, oh, by the way, Kentucky's at less than 100%. So that was really what I saw. But I also see an ascending Tennessee team, and they're an interesting story. They had this McDonald's All-American at point guard named Kennedy Chandler, and he's been okay. Sometimes freshmen hit a wall. It happens. But also what happened was, in the middle of the summer, they signed this guy. His name's Zakai Siegler. If you watch Tennessee, he's a little guy with dreads. And he's an incredible story. He was unsigned as a senior in high school this past year. Tennessee's at some event, and they just say, who is that guy? Oh, he's eligible this season? And they signed him thinking that he's either going to be a redshirt or he's going to be the 8th, 9th man. And he is just this instant impact spark plug that changes everything for them. And so Rick Barnes, I give him credit. He's really shaking up his lineup. He's really going with the guys that are helping them. But also they're really good around the rim, protecting the rim, all that stuff. So they're playing really good basketball. It's funny. I know that there's kind of this narrative that Rick Barnes is either overrated or past his prime or whatever. I think he's doing a heck of a job with this team kind of adjusting on the fly. And much like Coach Musk, kind of figuring out what pieces fit where. And we got the Vols playing their best basketball of the season right now.
Yeah, and AT, you mentioned the Kentucky and kind of a Kentucky connection to my next question is obviously the retirement of Tubby Smith after having the second stint with COVID. His son's going to take over at High Point. If this is it for Tubby Smith in college basketball, what's the one thing he's going to be remembered for? Is it winning the national championship at Kentucky? Is it he won, but he was with Rick's guys? Is it taking 5 different schools to the NCAA tourney? Or is it something else in your mind that when the world of college basketball looks back at Tubby, what's the number one thing they're going to say about him?
Oh, I think it's obvious. it was the 2 glorious years that he spent in Memphis. I mean, that's the answer, right? No,
well, I liked it. I liked him there, but unfortunately, 98% of the fan base didn't.
Well, you know who didn't like it was Penny Hardaway, who was making sure that he didn't get any players there so that Penny could get the job.
Exactly.
No, I mean, listen. It'll be really interesting to see. You know, Memphis is kind of turning around too, and if this is the start of something, you know, then maybe that is kind of one of the things that Tubby Smith is known for. Is, you know, he was the guy before Penny, and maybe Penny does get it rolling. I don't know, but no, I think you hit on most of it, Drew. You know, I don't remember all the details now, but I believe he was the first African-American coach at Kentucky, certainly the first basketball coach of African-American descent, which was really cool. But that's not the story. The story is, as you said, wins a national championship, you know, leads a ton of different schools to success. And I think the big thing, you know, kind of just knowing the guys in the Kentucky media, and I was too young. I wasn't covering Kentucky. I was just you know, a teenager and young person watching Kentucky during his time there. Was the Kentucky fans, I think they appreciate kind of the class in which he ran the program, right? And I think it's in the moment you want to win, and it's easy that the program isn't living up to your own expectations, and it's easy to sit there and say, well, you know, it's time for somebody new. Well, he leaves, and before, you know, John Calipari gets there, there's a 2-year run with Billy Gillespie, which is an absolute train wreck where he's not only unqualified for the job, but he's embarrassing the university, all that stuff. And so, you know, I don't know if it's a total apples to apples with Chad Morris, but, you know, the Chad Morris, and then you get Sam Pittman, and you start to appreciate this guy loves the school. He represents the school well. He represents it with class. He brings in the right kind of players into the program. And I think for Tubby Smith, that there was a lot of that there. It was kind of the reverse because they didn't appreciate him until after he left. But I think that, you know, to me, that's kind of my understanding of his legacy within Kentucky. And then broader college basketball, I mean, you know, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, a guy that, as you said, several different runs with several different schools. You know, Georgia had success under him, which led him to getting that job. And I think it's easy to look at what Georgia's done really since he left and realize the success that he had there as well. So, no, great point by you, Drew. I hadn't even you know, kind of considered all the different things now that it appears as though that he's probably on his way out. But, you know, an incredible legacy and an incredible career for him.
Well, one league that's been incredible, I mean, right now you look at the latest bracketology from different guys. The one I got pulled up is Joe Lenardi's here, and he's got 9 teams in the Big Ten making the big dance in March. Is that realistic? I mean, I get Rutgers' weird resume, but are they really a tournament team? I mean, they have some great wins, but they also have some really head-scratching losses on there to kind of make Rutgers that 9th team. Is this going to be the year of the Big Ten, or is this going to be kind of like the Big Ten has been in recent history where they get all these teams in, right, and it looks like, oh, somebody from the Big Ten has to win it, and then we're looking up last weekend of March and not a Big Ten team in sight?
It's really interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this. Mike DeCourcy from Big Ten Network, and he writes and stuff, he was chirping at me this week because I had the audacity to say the Big Ten is overrated. And, you know, surprise, surprise, the guy on the Big Ten Network thinks I have no idea what I'm talking about. But, Drew, you know, listen, what I would say about the Big Ten, you know, they have kind of, we talk about metrics and analytics, and Phil mentioned the net earlier. They've kind of cooked the books in a way that allows them to get more teams into the tournament just because they play more conference games, 20 conference games. They have the 2 challenges with the Big East and the Big 12, Big East and ACC, Big East and ACC. And they just play more power conference teams than anybody. So they've manipulated the system to their benefit. But to your point, Drew, it drives me crazy every year that we have to try to talk ourselves into this conference as one of the best. And by the way, last year I did the same thing. I probably don't remember my bracket now, but I had a bunch of teams advancing really far. So I think however many teams they get in, I do think it's kind of rubber meets road moment where they have to have some real teams advance and they have to have some real tournament success. And I know that Michigan's made a title game a few years under John Beilein, and they've had runs, but I think that this year especially, if they want to be taken seriously, you know, they got to have a couple teams make real runs. And then what I would also say is that they once again have by far the most teams, and they have a bunch of teams underperform their seeds. Like last year, Illinois loses as a 1 seed in round 2, Purdue loses as a 4 seed, Ohio State loses as a 2 seed in round 1. I think people are going to call the question, is this net the right tool, the right metric to use, or how can we tweak it? Because clearly it is not reflective of how good these teams are. So it's an interesting point, Drew. I was just in the middle of it with Mike DeCourcy this week, and I agree with you. I think it's time for them to kind of prove on the court that they're capable of making a run. When you look at a conference like the SEC that had Alabama, Arkansas have success, as well as Tennessee, Kentucky in recent years.
I noticed it was DeCourcy. He's been on our show a number of times.
Yeah.
He and I went to the same school in Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh guy just like me, Aaron. I'm not choosing sides. I promise you I'm not choosing sides.
That's what I was going to say. I don't want to put you guys in the middle, but listen, he's a smart guy. He's been around, but listen, 9 NCAA tournament bids last year, 1 Sweet 16. You get destroyed in the Big East Challenge this year. And then the ACC Challenge, you barely win against the worst ACC in my lifetime. So, he can pull up whatever metrics from 1994, and I'm sure it was great back then, and, milk cost a nickel. I need to know what are you doing for me right now? The Hogs are number 2 in the country. I don't care about Wichita State baseball in 1988 when they were good. Who's good now? The Hogs are on top. So you see how I brought that full circle right there?
Love it, AT.
I love it. That's right. You got to get with the times instead of America Online.
That's what I'm
94.
saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Cal State Fullerton won a College World Series 20 years ago. I don't care about them now. It's the same with Big Ten basketball.
All right. It's well said.
Well said.
Well said. All right. Well, enjoy the weekend, Aaron, and enjoy the college baseball this weekend, especially UConn. Appreciate you. We'll talk next week.
And the Hogs, too. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Exactly.
Appreciate it, AT.
Exactly right. Aaron Torres Sports Media. I love it when we've got some friends of the show that are going at each other on Twitter. At least they're not going at it on us.
Exactly. As long as it's not directed towards us, I'm okay with it.
Hey, we talk about the Fence Man a lot. It's the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, but they're also looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team right now. If you're a fence builder or you have building experience, you can apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, a $500 sign-on bonus. You can join the top fence building team at the Fence Man. Apply today in person, 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. If you want to get on the show with us, a call or a text, 877-377-6963.
Save thousands of dollars before the end of the month with manager specials at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. When you drive in, you'll notice the hang tags in the window. Troy, these are big savings, thousands of dollars on each of these vehicles.
You're 100% correct, Tommy. I mean, if you just look at the hang tags hanging from the rear view mirror, some of these trucks have been marked down $8,000. These are manager specials. They're just units that have been here just a little bit longer than what we want them. Hey, our loss is your gain. There's thousands and thousands of dollars off of these trucks. And the great news is every one of them is a truck and every one of them is a 4-wheel drive. So get down here and see us.
Here's the bad news. They're going to move fast at these prices.
They definitely are. We've already sold one this morning, actually. So get down here quick. There's thousands of dollars off. If you're looking for a truck, come down here and see us.
Manager specials, but only till the end of the month at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw, and always online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas, or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Yeah. Now let me see that booty work, booty work, booty work.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Let's see here. $450 million is the figure that I see on the ESPN story by Heather Dinich about the money that the football conferences and Notre Dame are forfeiting because they're not going to be expanding
Makes no sense.
the college football playoff. And I really did think that the money would be the reason why you'd be expanding, that everybody could find a way to come together on some sort of agreement or just, have a little give and take on this, because that's an amazing amount of money. And that's on an annual basis, as I understand. This isn't just over the course of whatever the contract would have been. It would have been over the it's mind-blowing to think of this, because when this conversation first started, Drew, this is right when you joined the show, it felt like a done deal.
Oh, it did.
Somebody leaked that it was going to be a 12-team playoff, and it felt like it was going to be a done deal like over the course of 2 months. And here we are in February now, and now it's never going to it's not going to change until at least 2026.
Yeah, and that's the terrible thing about it. You think that some of these conference commissioners would get out of their way, and you talk about when this conversation first started back in the summer, it wasn't the debate wasn't whether it should stay at 4 or go to 12. The debate was, should we go to 6 and then 8 and then 12? Where's the happy medium? Nobody, and absolutely nobody was debating to keep it at 4, to keep it the system that we're at, where you're literally got teams from 3 conferences this year, 2 Power 5 conferences, 1 Group of 5, first Group of 5 school to ever make the CFP, which the fact that Mike Oresco earlier this week had to come out and restate that he does publicly support the expansion of the playoffs, which why would you not if you're the commissioner of a quote-unquote, as Mike Oresco likes to call it, the P6 conferences. I don't understand why the Pac-12, big Bob Bowlesby, because he's just an idiot. I understand why he does it. Bob Bowlesby's right up there with Rob Manfred of most hated people in my book. And the ACC, why are they trying to block it? It does nothing but hurt themselves. They're not getting in. They didn't get in last year. They're not getting in without Clemson. The ACC's not getting in. Without a turnaround of Oregon with a new head football coach, or USC with a new head football coach in Lincoln Riley, they're not getting in. Once Texas OU leaves, guess what? You're going to have to hope Cincy and Houston get really good and stay really good, or you're going to have to hope that Baylor continues to climb, because they're not getting in. They're not getting in 4. I don't know what's so hard for these commissioners and these people making these rules to understand the current system. You're only hurting yourself. Why are you getting in your own way?
It kind of feels like a hung jury. You know what I mean? You throw you throw jurors into a room and seclude them, or a hotel room or something like that. Just like, look, you're going to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Or you're just going to stay here. You may end up with a hung jury. You have to be unanimous when it comes to, a decision made by a jury in court. That's what this has to be too. So you've got to have the 10 commissioners and Notre Dame agree on what the playoff will look like moving forward. And I honestly
the fact that Notre Dame gets that much power is beyond me.
Whether we like it or not, they are the biggest independent left, and always have been. But it just seems like you're never going to be able to find this sort of agreement unanimously to move this forward. Because when the story came out in the summer, was that somebody leaking it to kind of try to move public opinion in that direction?
Maybe.
Because it felt like a done deal, especially when you throw the money figures out there.
But then as soon as that story gets leaked and it comes out, what do we have next? Texas OU to the SEC, and then we get the Alliance. The Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big 12, they're not going to stand. They're going to stand against old Greg Sankey and the big bad SEC. They're going to stand strong together, locked arms in brotherhood.
All they are is an alliance.
They're not doing anything.
They're just an alliance that shows we're not the SEC or really.
They're an alliance that slows progress.
They haven't even scheduled games yet between themselves. It's kind of nuts.
They're
so college football is going to be stuck in neutral in that sense.
It's run by dumb people.
Basketball and baseball, and we'll have the best college postseasons. And it isn't even close. The college football postseason is not as good as the sport itself.
No,
I'm thinking basketball and baseball, it stands perfectly for the way
the playoff isn't as good as week 1
champion.
in college football. Like, it's that bad.
You're right. All right, golden hour of halftime after this.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Springtime is around the corner, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is here to get your vehicle ready. Window tint specialty, WeatherTech accessories, and more. Ask about the residential tints and commercial tints that are now available. Springtime is near, and River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get special wheels and tires and more. Your one-stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Back again with our good friends at World of Wireless. Their phone number is 877-305-DISH. Lock in your price for 2 years when you make the move to Dish right now.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH. Give us a call. We're right at the light in Barling at the corner of Church Street and Highway 22, right next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Come see us. We have the all-new Playmakers in stock where you can use them for portable satellites during the summer. Maybe you're going somewhere on spring break. You can use that. You can guarantee your rate for 2 years when you sign up for Dish right now and get a $100 gift card from World of Wireless.
That's so huge. Even if you've cut the cord, went to YouTube or Hulu, those prices continue to go up. The cost of streaming services continue to go up. You can have Dish in your home, and it's affordable.
Traditional satellite TV service in HD is the easiest way to watch sports. But you got to call us, 877-305-DISH. Give us a call. $100 Visa gift card available this weekend when you sign up for new service.
Your local Dish dealer, World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH for WOW, World of Wireless.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high today in the lower 50s, mainly clear. Won't be as cold tonight. And overnight low upper 20s. Sunny skies on Saturday, mid-50s north, closer to 60 south. And Sunday, we're looking at more sunshine, highs in the 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Ramos Roofing, specializing in all roofing needs. 479-420-9903.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
I got spicy fingers here at Eat My Catfish, man. This smorgasbord of shellfish has.
I'm gonna finish it.
I mean, the spice. You are not gonna finish it.
I am.
That'll take you a month. We might need help from some folks.
I might just see if they'll let me take a bucket and take it for the road, and I'll just finish it on my way back.
Well, that is one of the good things about this. This stuff won't go bad
It won't.
for you on the drive back. So, yeah, it might as well. But I mean, you can see the spices down at the bottom
it's down
there. Yeah, the bottom crawfish are the ones that are going to bite back at you.
Oh yeah, I went to about 2 crawfishes ago. Pulled it apart, sucked the head, and just spices went straight to the back of the throat. Where you're like, ooh, that is a spicy crawfish, but it's so good.
Throat tickler,
yeah,
huh?
It was good though.
We're at Eat My Catfish in Fayetteville, so come on out here and enjoy lunch. It's officially lunch now. It's no longer breakfast, and place is starting to fill up.
Yeah, it is.
Plenty of crawfish is being stuffed down everyone's gullet. Met Steakhouse over here, one of our great listeners on halftime, and I think on the baseball games too. So this is what opening day feels like. It's all about, because this is 2 years in a row. SmackDown was here with me for opening day last year, and this has become a tradition. So thanks to Zach and the crew at Eat My Catfish for bringing us out here this year, and I guess we'll just sort of pencil it in for 2023.
Well, I know I'll definitely be back here between those times. Like, whether they bring us back or not, I hope they do. But I'll be here on my own accord because this food is absolutely amazing.
Very good. All right.
I haven't had one bad thing. It's all been extremely good.
We got a couple of callers on hold. Let's go to hit them.
Yes. That way I can eat more.
It sounds like we may have a special guest that we were not planning on. And later on in the show.
I don't know?
Well, I'll see if I can figure something out and get with you after we have these phone calls. Eddie is first up. Eddie, it's opening day for Arkansas baseball. We're eating spicy food, spicy shellfish here at Eat My Catfish. And to me, this is what Hog Delight is today for baseball. How you doing?
It couldn't be better as our baseball home train is getting rolling this afternoon. Hey, bringing the hot mojo. And people ask me, what is our mojo? Well, in our baseball program, well, it's our pitching, it's our hitting, it's our defense, it's our base running, and yes, it's our swagger. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm ready for the mojo. And if I'm not mistaken, our basketball team is getting rolling with the mojo. And tomorrow night at Bud Walton Arena, I want them to be the bowl of hot basketball mojo. And that takes place, what a weekend for our program.
Eddie, is this going to be the same kind of thing like against Auburn where Tony Bua's roofing company has to be on the top of Bud Walton Arena to build a new roof?
I hope the roof, about the roof, get the roof, Tony Bua up there right now, because we need to blow the roof off Bud Walton. Again, a very good balls team coming into Bud Walton, but this team is better defensively than the Vols, and we're going to feed them a big bowl of defense tomorrow, and we're going to get a win.
Eddie, thank you for listening to our show. I would say that it's not a big bowl of defense. It's like a smorgasbord of seafood size defensive bowl. Not even a bowl. It's a giant plat. What would we call this here? This is a
serving dish.
It's a serving dish for about 20 people.
Yeah.
That's the kind of defense that Arkansas has been serving up to opponents for the last 11, 12 games, and try to do it to the Volunteers again. Just not have it smell like fish on the basketball floor. I don't know if they want that.
Yeah, I don't know if they want the juices all going every which way down on Nolan Richardson Court at Bud Walton Arena. But the defense has shown up every single game, and it's been a complete 180 from what we saw to start this season off. I mean, from what you saw against Oklahoma, against Hofstra to start the SEC play, you were thinking that this team might have to figure out how to score 110 to win a few ball games, but that has absolutely not been the case, keeping most opponents under 70 through this big stretch, which if you can keep good college basketball teams like the Hogs are playing in the SEC under 70, you're going to win every night. I don't even need to see the box score. Just show me what they've scored. Show me the shooting percentage. If it's at 40 or below, I can tell you who won the game because that's how good of defense Arkansas is playing. And when you're able to play that good of a defense, it's going to equal wins.
I think Eddie had a little bit of that opening day fire in his belly, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
You could hear it.
He brings it every time. He brings it every day. But there's just something a little bit different about today, something a little special, just a little dash of Arkansas excitement.
All right, next, and apologies to Charlie for putting him in on after Eddie.
Sorry.
Eddie's the leadoff batter. Charlie's the number 2 hitter. You don't have to bunt him over, Charlie, because he just hit a home run. So you're just fine doing whatever you usually do.
Tuna's going back-to-back here.
What's up, Charlie?
All right, the Tuna's just going to go to the X's and O's. I'm not even going to try to compete with Eddie when it comes to knocking it over the fence. You know,
That's called smart calling on sports talk, Charlie. You're very intelligent.
I am going to work the pitcher. I am working that count. He probably hit a home run on the first pitch. It doesn't matter if it was a ball or a strike. So I'm just going to try to work the pitcher here. Get us some pitches. All right, thank you. Anyway.
There he goes. He's ordering lunch again. There he goes. All right, what are you, are we talking baseball? Are we talking basketball, Charlie? Are we talking crawfish and shellfish? What are we doing?
We're talking basketball.
Okay.
I'm excited for the baseball team as well. I will be calling in, talking about that as well. But, you know, one thing I expect to see tomorrow night, and that's why I said I was talking about it or tomorrow evening, 3 o'clock. I think they'll play a similar defensive style that they played against Auburn. Because if you look at Tennessee, their 5 men cannot shoot the 3. So I expect Jay there, you know, around the rim and things of that nature. But here's the, you know, they run a lot of sets for their guards, get threes, a lot of flare screens. I'm excited to see the game plan, what they do defensively. I think Muss will have a good plan, and hopefully they follow it well. I think that's been, you know, as far as preparation goes, you know, I was thinking about Muss yesterday, and of course I called in and talked about him. But when you think of a weakness of a coach, you know, look at Muss, and there's no perfect person in this world. There's no perfect coach, but I think he's one of those coaches that just kind of does everything well. You know, when you go out from a preparation standpoint, you know good and well this team is as prepared as anybody in the country when they go out and they face that opponent. They know what that team's strength is. They know every player's strength and weakness from top to bottom, and Muss is going to get them ready for that. They know their plays, you know, and the thing of that, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, as far as a weakness in Muss, you know, we all have weaknesses. Maybe it's his attitude or something. I don't know when he loses.
I haven't found a weakness in Muss as a coach yet. I don't know if anybody has, to be honest. He doesn't use the timeouts. I mean, is that anything, really?
Weakness in the shoulder.
Yeah, really.
Sure. That's surgically repaired.
It's not anything, and that's what I try to tell people. A lot of coaches don't believe in using timeouts. They let their teams play through the rough droughts and stretches, and also at the end of games, a lot of coaches don't like using the timeouts because they don't want the defense to get set. So
there's reasons for it.
Everybody's different.
He has reasons for it. I mean, people say, you know, you don't get to take the timeouts home with you. Who cares? You have reasons for why you don't use timeouts. It's just fine.
Don't break up momentum. If you're running well, let it run.
Definitely. And before I go, guys, I think it's going to be a tight one tomorrow. But I think we'll pull it out. I really do. I think this team is, you know, like I said, I'm excited to see the game plan defensively. I'm an X's and O's guy. I'm really excited to see what they do. I think they'll do some of the similar things that they did against Auburn. But, you know, and I expect, I expect to win. I really do, because we're at home and we need to win these home games. And, you know, like I said before I go on Muss, is, you know, he's also a great motivator. He has great passion. I mean, when you look at it from the standpoint of, I don't know if you guys could find a weakness in his role as a coach, but what do you guys think? I mean, like, what if you had a weakness for a guy, for him, what is it? I mean, anyway, I think he just does everything well, and that's what makes him such a good coach. So
I think you're priming the pump for something. Charlie, it's good to talk to you. Thanks
Appreciate
again.
it, Tuna. Have a good weekend.
We'll talk to you Monday, I think.
Oh, we will.
He's priming the pump for us to try to dig in for something about Muss that's not good. You ain't gonna get it from us because I can't think of anything, to be honest.
You can keep hitting that primer. Doesn't mean it's gonna start. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about Eric Musselman and what he's really got going. I mean, you talk about X's and O's. Well, it's obviously there. I mean, he's got the pedigree to show, not just from learning from his legendary coach of a father, but, I mean, the stints that he's had in NBA, in G League, in overseas stuff, in college basketball now after his stint at Nevada, turning that program around and really getting excitement into that. You know, I have family from Reno, and they would call and tell me about Eric Musselman and how exciting this guy's going to be and how he is really putting a fire into a program that honestly just hasn't ever been there. And now to see what he's doing at Arkansas in such a short turnaround from where this program was 3 years ago to the day that he walked on campus to where you are now, talking about a second consecutive sellout at Bud Walton Arena of having 19+ thousand, and then probably a third right behind it with Kentucky next week, and just the excitement of the program and that the sky is just the absolute limit. I mean, there's nothing Eric Musselman can't do, and I'll keep singing his praises until he gives me a reason not to.
Well, he's done well constructing rosters. He's a defense-first guy. Things kind of come after you defend. And
that's the way it needs to be.
The ability to win in these 3 years at Arkansas with such differently made-up teams, I think says a lot about the ability to scout the opponent, to coach players up, even players that are just with you for 1 year and have been coached by other guys for the previous 3 seasons. And there just seems to be like this pervading attitude around the program that we're going to improve as the season goes on. They got better.
They did.
Even when they were winning games last year, they got better and better and better. That's what's happening now as well. And I know there was the loss against Alabama, but look, they bounced back and had a great performance after. And, with 5 games left, they quite honestly look just about as dangerous as last year's team. So,
I mean, how many other programs in the country right now can you say that is a complete 180 February 18th from what they were December 18th? I know that's just the start of the season, but within a 2-month span, you can take a team that is fluttering, not looking well. I mean, heck, you go back a month before that, a team that barely escaped a Division II team from Oklahoma.
Right.
I mean, and yeah, it didn't count, but to go from that to what we're seeing today, I mean, it's incredible. And I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, stop blowing smoke," doing all this other stuff up where, but he hasn't given me any negative things to say. As soon as Muss messes up and gives me negative things to say, I'll say it. I'm not afraid to call out negativities, but there's nothing to call out. And I know it doesn't make that much interesting radio, especially when you have personalities at the national level that's so popular, like a Stephen A. Smith type of guy that's constantly negative, constantly yelling, constantly screaming about all the wrong things. Well, I don't have anything to yell about. As soon as I do, I will. But right now, there's nothing to yell.
Here's something for you to yell about. It's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Tonight they got Brooke White Band from 8 until midnight at 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge is the place you find top shelf spirits, the best hand-rolled cigars anywhere in the state, great food, and you won't smell like your cigar because they have the air replacement system. It replaces the air every 4 minutes. That's 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. You can visit their Facebook page for specials and events, 906lounge.com, the website. And we have confirmed Moses Moody is joining halftime at 12:30.
Here we go.
That is a surprise, but certainly a very good one. Stay tuned as we're at Eat My Catfish in Fayetteville. Much more coming after this.
know what that alligator would say? After eating me, I just had a bite of the youngest sports talk radio host in Arkansas.
I loved your guys' intro. Got me all fired up. Long-time listener, listen to you guys every day. Been listening since day one.
Because you know what BOAT stands for, right? Bust out another 1,000. That was good Lord, man.
I'm trying to get rid of this moth.
Well, can we do it sometime other in the middle of the segment?
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics. Heat up your home with a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system. Here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the _1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your
of America. You guys have built relationship after relationship. People keep coming back.
Fourth generation family owned as well. So we're not like these big corporations that have been around for 114 years. We're family owned. We're from Fort Smith. We're from the River Valley. We go to school with you guys. We go out in the community with you guys, and we're here to serve.
Come by and see us, Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or online at randallford.com.
Start the new year at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Joe's Grill and Cantina has daily specials like Mexicali Monday with 2 of your favorite sides, Taco Tuesdays with crispy tacos just $1 each, and don't forget everyone's favorite Fajita Fridays. And watch every Hogs game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every televised game. The best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Talk about making the golden hour golden when you have your lottery pick joining the show in the next segment. Right? That's pretty golden. But Zach East joins us now. That's golden, too, because he's brought us out here to Eat My Catfish here in Fayetteville. Zach, appreciate all the food. Appreciate you having us out here, too. Now, you informed me that this, I forgot what this is called again?
That's the Royal Boil.
The Royal Boil.
Yep.
Describe everything that's going on in this giant pan of love.
So Royal Boil is like the family pack of seafood. So on our bucket menu, it's the largest item we have. It's 5 pounds of crawfish, 2 pounds boiled shrimp, 1 pound crab, 5 corn, and 5 potatoes. It's a feast.
Supposed to feed how many people? Because right now it's feeding Drew and a little bit of me.
Man, it would take 4 of me to eat that, yeah.
And you got some size to you, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
I'm doing pretty good. You can see about a fourth of it gone, the nice little square section of it. I'm doing a decent job.
Are there points of the Royal Boil that you sort of target to have more spice located than others? Because the spice kind of filters down to the bottom, and those who are in the know just kind of like kiss the bottom of the pan when they really want some spice?
Yeah, you can kind of dip it down at the bottom,
Oh, yeah.
Dunk it.
Drew accidentally breathed some of that stuff into his lungs, so
yeah, it's dangerous.
Oh, it is, but it's so good though.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous good.
Now you told me so you actually watched a guy eat all of this thing once,
Yeah,
like a whole thing, one dude.
Yeah, North Little Rock, a guy knocked the whole thing out.
And how long did it take him? I mean, was he sitting here for a couple hours? Or, I mean, are we talking a competitive eater, Joey Chestnut here?
I wasn't there.
I wasn't
there.
there.
Our owner, Travis, he was actually working a shift there that night. He was supporting that team, and he sent me a picture. He was like, dude, this guy just knocked this whole thing out.
But how much time does it take? Because Joey Chestnut
takes a lot of time to peel.
Yeah,
though.
Joey Chestnut can just shove the hot dogs down his throat without
Mm-hmm.
chewing, man. You can't do that with shellfish. You got to peel these things.
I mean, man, it would take a solid hour.
Well, it's time well spent, right?
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can wash it down with however many cold beverages you want here at Eat My Catfish.
Yep, that's right.
So I know you've got this VIP program that your clientele can text into, and if you're part of the VIP program, the first cool thing is that you get a free catfish and shrimp combo. With the 2 pieces of catfish, the 6 shrimp, and the 2 sides. But that's just the first cool thing. What else would VIP members get as part of this texting program?
So the way we have it set up, you can text in to your specific location. That way we're not targeting you with stuff that you don't want. So you're going to get offers that nobody else gets, free stuff. Anytime we do any type of a free promo, you're going to be the first one to know about it. I mean, right now with inflation, prices are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's complaining about what they're having to pay when they go out to eat. So this is a way where we can target our loyal guests and kind of give back to them a little bit. So we're excited about it.
So the way to join the VIP program, and you do it on a restaurant by restaurant basis for your locations, right?
Yep,
you can join at either the Fayetteville location, Siloam location, or Rogers, and you got to text to 501-359-6979. I'll give that again, 501-359-6979 to be part of the VIP program, but you choose the location where you belong to the VIP program.
Yep.
The Fayetteville location, now you just start with EMC 5 for Fayetteville, 6 for Siloam, 7 for Rogers.
That's correct.
Yes, you want to pick the close. Can they be part of 2 programs at once, 2 different restaurants?
Yeah, absolutely.
Might as well. You got locations all over the state. Might as well be very important at all of them.
That's right. Yeah, so just text that in. It's all in our social media too. You can go check it out, and we've got the codes there. So,
well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, they made a. Do you have any drink specials for the game today?
No. So it would be when Mardi Gras begins. We'll have the Mardi Gras Rita.
Ooh.
No, we do happy hour specials. Any game day, we honor the happy hour all day. But we'll roll out a new drink for Mardi Gras this year.
And what makes that different from a regular margarita? I mean, there's got to be some type of New Orleans flavor. I mean, you're just going to dump the crawfish juice right in it?
Well, it'll be decorated. It's got the the purple sugar around the rim.
Okay.
You got the purple and the yellows and all that. So
you do a king cake. Have you ever had one of those things?
I have.
I can't do it.
I can't get past the
I'm not
freakiness
eating
of the
anything
baby.
with a baby inside of it, whether it's real or not.
Yeah, we need to figure out a way to get our fried pies like a king cake fried pie.
Yeah.
I think that would be killer.
If you
without
have
the baby.
Without the that's the only way to get me to eat that thing.
Yeah.
It creeps me out that this is a thing in southern Louisiana.
And it's a creepy looking baby
It
too.
is.
If you've ever had one, it's not
It's
just a
staring
normal,
at you, man.
Yeah.
It's giving you googly eyes.
It is.
I don't want a plastic baby giving me googly eyes with a dessert. Who thought this up?
I'm completely good. I
What
don't need
demon thought this dessert up?
Well,
Doesn't
they
make any
have all
sense.
that voodoo stuff down there
They
in
do.
New Orleans.
Yeah, that's right.
Eat My Catfish is such a great place to enjoy food, drink, sports. They got the SEC Network on right now. You got softball on. You'll have baseball on.
Yep.
You got the basketball. Hey, you might as well just camp out here tomorrow.
That's right,
12 o'clock baseball, 3 o'clock basketball. Can people sleep on the tables if they want to stay over tomorrow night?
Yeah, we'll have the big screen going too. So I think it's something like 17 feet wide.
And next weekend for the Kentucky game, can I just come in, order this? You let me just munch on it for about 4 or 5 hours, and I can take naps in between, right?
Yeah. We'll get you a little spot by the window over there. You
great.
get some sun.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you ever have people come in that are a little afraid of crawfish, and you have to tell them, how to do this.
All the time. You have to show them how to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids it's fun to explain to people, too.
Oh, yeah. Kids like it when you bring the live ones out, and they get to see, they're actually, they're live before they go into the pot. So.
Well, it's a lot of fun just to eat this stuff.
Oh, it is.
And that's aside from the fact that it tastes great.
Absolutely.
So, Zach, again, thanks for having us come out.
You bet, man.
We appreciate
excited
your
about today. Best time of year.
You got that right. Best time of the year is baseball season, especially when you get crawfish, shrimp, and crab legs, and corn, and potatoes as part of the royal boil. And then you can just kind of fight over it amongst yourselves. All right, we've got Moses Moody coming up next here on Halftime. This is something we were not expecting. So we love surprises, especially on opening day.
I love the NBA. So
I might have you conduct most of this then to see how it goes. Right back after this.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. Have you ever cooked a really fine gourmet meal? Yeah, me neither. But I'm told it all comes down to the ingredients. And when I need ingredients to improve my car, the place I go is eBay Motors. Whether you roasted your last transmission, graded your current floor mats, or pureed your side view mirror on a lamppost, eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them. And by the way, if you recently fired up your grill, don't worry, eBay Motors has grills too. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
O'Reilly. This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi folks, matchmaker Larry Rath here with a sweetheart of a deal from Rath Auto Resources. I'm on a mission to help you find the nicer, newer car of your dreams. So if the thrill is gone with your old ride, come see the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in over 2 years. Each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Just find the one you love the best and let our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do the rest. With discounts up to $4,100 below retail and the highest trade-in values ever, you'll be head over heels for the deals too. Gonna make it work with the car you have? Let us give it the attention it deserves in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal will be over quicker than your first crush. Start driving better today in a nicer, newer car you love from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Whether you are visiting one of Arkansas's beautiful national parks, or traveling, or maybe just living the RV lifestyle, Breeden RV has everything you'll need to make your trip a successful one. We have new travel trailers starting at just $158 a month, all the way up to Class A, B, and C motorhomes, and fifth wheels from all the names you know and trust: Thor, Forest River, Coachman, Keystone, and more. Check out the great selection of pre-owned inventory, and we are actively looking to buy your RV as well. BreedenRVs.com.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Springtime is around the corner, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is here to get your vehicle ready. Window tint specialty, WeatherTech accessories, and more. Ask about the residential tints and commercial tints that are now available. Springtime is near, and River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get special wheels and tires and more. Your one-stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, sir!
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, ready to go here on Halftime with the one and only Moses Moody. I was going to say former Razorback, but the fact of the matter is, when you're a Razorback, you're always a Razorback, right?
That's
so
what I've
Moses,
heard.
you're definitely not a former Razorback. You're still one, even though you're now a Golden State Warrior. This is the right way to say it, right?
Most definitely.
Most
definitely.
Good. So
you'll never forget where you come from.
Well, you never did forget where you came from, that's for sure. And everybody is so proud watching you this year in the NBA. And I'm assuming this. I mean, I've lost track of all of the great former Razorbacks that are coming back. It's like you've got your entire team coming back, and brother after brother. What are you feeling as you're making a homecoming here for such a big game tomorrow?
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for it. I ain't seen my guys since the end of last year. Well, I saw KK a while ago, but other than that, I haven't seen my guys in a while.
So you haven't been in Arkansas since when?
When I did that signing, that signing for a lot of the fans. That was the last time I was in Arkansas.
Okay, all right. Well,
right before the season.
It's been so much fun watching this team round into form. You know, kind of the same way that your team last year rounded into form and just started playing such great basketball around the middle of January and had a streak going and defense-oriented and all of that. From afar, have you seen similarities that you can just like notice? Oh, we got better at that. We got better at that. When you have a chance to watch this team, obviously, I don't know if you get a chance to watch every game because you got something else going on. But are there some similarities that you've noticed watching this year's team compared to your team last year?
I do definitely see similarities within the two teams. But at the same time, I do think the team is going in two different directions, as in like the play style and the way that we play versus the way that this team's playing. Not saying that there's anything negative about either one. They're just two different types of basketball, and I mean they're both working, obviously.
That's what makes Muss such a good coach, right? We had somebody call in earlier talking about, he wanted us to say, what's the worst thing about Muss as a coach? I'm like, I can't find anything, to be quite honest, because he's won at Arkansas with 3 different style teams. And so, I mean, for me, that says something about a coach's ability to just cobble a different group of guys together and help turn them into a winning team. That's kind of what happened last year, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. Like saying that, you know, you don't need a perfect situation for things to go good. You can make it work with anything.
Yeah, and Moses coming from Arkansas here and playing for, obviously, Eric Musselman, a guy with NBA backgrounds, a guy who spent a lot of time, not just in the NBA, but in the development league, now referred to as the G League, playing under a guy like Steve Kerr. What are some similar traits that the two have, and what kind of makes them different?
Between Muss and who?
And Kerr.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're both very detail oriented. So it's all about the details, all about the small stuff. The outcome will kind of happen, but they are two opposite. They have two opposite coaching styles. Definitely, Steve Kerr is a lot more laid back. Although he can get rowdy at times during the game, throughout the game, but he's for the most part pretty mild-mannered. And we all know that that's not Coach Muss at all.
No, it definitely isn't. And, you know, being on the Golden State Warriors, a team that has had so much success of recent history. Now, obviously, did have the down year last year with all the injuries and, you know, but this year has been just such a great big turnaround. You are sitting at second in the Western Conference. You've got Steph playing at an all-time high like he does. You're playing great. You got Klay Thompson back. That's been a big story. Kind of when it came to Klay, you know, coming back, and I'm pretty sure you spent some time with him in the G League as you've kind of gone back and forth this year as well. What has made his turnaround this year so incredible to watch, and his determination to really get back onto that NBA floor? night in and night out?
I would say his mindset and the person that he's been throughout this hard time in his life. You know, he's been fighting and he's not wanting anything else but to play for the last 2 years. So he's finally got that opportunity, and it's just beautiful to watch.
You knew this team would be a lot better this year, right? I mean, there was no way getting the players back that they've gotten back that there would be a rough season. So when you saw your name selected by the Warriors, you must have been – I mean, you kept up with the NBA, of course. You're a basketball fan at the same time as being a star. But you had to have a sense coming into this season that it was like that was just a little blip on the radar for a great franchise, and look at what's happened this year. This was not like, you know, a lot of the lottery picks that are going to bad teams that are just trying to rebuild. That's not what this was.
You landed in a perfect situation.
Yep, definitely. And I'm glad that I did, because now I'm getting an opportunity to learn from those guys, really study those guys, give me a head start.
Well, all right, so tell me some of the things you might have learned. I got to be honest, Moses, like when you showed up as a freshman, you never played like a freshman. You know, you seem to already come with an experience that I think, if I may say so, had something to do with where you played at Montverde because of how star-studded that team was. You knew how to fit into a star-studded team, that you didn't necessarily have to be the guy all the time. And that was on display last year for Arkansas. So in your first year in the NBA, what have you learned that you feel has made you a better basketball player for the professional game?
First off, I would say just that willingness to learn and never be satisfied and feel like you know everything, because there's always stuff to learn. It's easy to be in this position and to feel like, I got to the NBA by myself, and I don't need to listen to nobody. That's an easy mindset to take on. But you're selling yourself short, because there's so much more room to grow, and you're around a whole bunch of people that's done completely separate journeys and lifestyles. So if you can learn from them, then you can somewhat avoid the mistakes that they made.
Yeah, Moses, it's always great to learn from other people's experiences and to, learn from their mistakes so you don't make them. And being a rookie in the NBA, living out this lifelong dream that you've had, obviously getting to not only just every night, share the court with Hall of Fame guys like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson, but you've had the opportunity to play against some of the best talent in basketball, not just in today's era, but I think in NBA history. Has there been a moment this year where you've looked across to the other team and kind of been a little starstruck and gone, this is what this is the childhood dream come true. I'm getting to share the court with, fill in the blank guy?
I wouldn't necessarily say I have had that moment because in game I'm so locked in and so in that competitive mindset. But although I do really wish, because we played the Celtics like 3 games before Joe Johnson signed that 10-day contract. So I really wish I would have had the opportunity to play them and play against Joe Johnson, because that would have been big for me, watching him my whole life.
What do you think? Moses, what do you think? In 21 years, could you still be playing in the NBA like Joe Johnson did?
Hey, I see it's possible, so I hope so.
I wouldn't put it past you, man. You keep yourself in shape, which I think you're able to do, and again, you seem to have a little bit of an old soul about you in the way that you played basketball. I want to ask about when you played at Montverde. Do you think that helped you, be a really good teammate? Because you could have acted like the dude on the team last year, and you were the leading scorer in all of that. But there were so many other contributors, and you never played in a selfish style. Did playing at Montverde with Cunningham and all those other guys help you develop that mindset as a basketball player?
Yes, I would say playing in Montverde definitely helped me develop and choose my playing style that I chose to go with at Arkansas. But it took some time through preseason, through the regular season, to really master the way and figure out the way that I wanted to play, because I tried different playing styles just to see what would work. But I found the one that I liked the most and I feel like was the most effective. And I was just through listening to different people, my friends, listening to people talk, and really took the things that I felt were the most beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Moses, some of the guys that you played with last year have been big parts of this Arkansas team, even with, the many transfers that Eric Musselman brings in every single year. You still have the staples of guys that were on the team last year, and Jalen Williams and J.D. Notae. And I think that us as fans and us as media members are seeing them really come into their own and create their own legacy like you did last year in Arkansas basketball history. But when you were on the team with those guys, did you see this coming and, kind of just felt like it was going to come? Just when are these guys going to step up and become the staples of Arkansas basketball that they've kind of become?
It's easy to see, definitely. Just throughout being around those guys. JD, you see his playing style and the way that he played. Coach had to kind of like sometimes hold him back to a certain extent. So you see, it was easy to tell whenever Coach playing style was going to be created around him, then he would be able to take that and run with it. So whenever that decision was made, that's when his light was going to fully shine. And Jay Will, he was just when we was rookies, when it was our first year, then he couldn't really lead in the way that he wanted to, in the way that you saw that he could. But even without that stamp and without the ears of people listening to him as much as a freshman, he was able to show his leadership abilities and show that that's who he truly was when he was given the opportunity. And I feel like this is his opportunity, and he's taken that by storm.
Yeah, he really has. And Moses, I got to know, does Jalen Williams have muscles in his face that allow him to frown? Have you ever actually seen the man frown? He has the nicest smile in all of college basketball, and he always has it on his face. Can he physically frown?
Me personally, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
I don't think anybody has. That's why I asked. Does he have the muscles in his face that help him contort his lips to go downwards?
Must have been like a Jack Nicholson Joker thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. A couple more minutes.
I can't say that I have seen it.
A couple more minutes here with Moses Moody. We really appreciate your time here, Moses. It's been such an interesting year for Razorback athletics, and from your perspective from afar, you had to have a little envy watching the stands empty at Razorback Stadium for the Texas football game, watching Arkansas basketball beat number 1 Auburn and empty the stands in a way that I'd never seen it before. You're a Razorback fan at the same time as being an athlete for this program, so there's got to be, you want to be in the league, yes, but those moments, I'm sure you would have liked to charge on the field for the football game too.
Yeah, that would have been a cool experience to be at. But it was fun to watch. Just seeing that for the university, seeing that for the guys, and having that much fun.
What's it like living in San Francisco? I'm assuming that's because that's where the team plays. It's a great city. It's a pretty exciting place. How are you liking living in San Francisco?
Yeah, it's been cool. It's a different environment that I'm used to. Obviously, coming from Little Rock, being from Little Rock. Now I'm living this city life, but yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun, just learning and going through these different experiences.
What do you miss the most about Arkansas?
The people. Are you saying Arkansas as a whole or Arkansas as in Fayetteville?
Let's just go with the state.
Yeah, the natural state.
Yeah, I mean, Little Rock, Fayetteville. Let's go with those two places.
Yeah, I would definitely say the people. It's just this amount of substance or genuinely good people in Arkansas that's not common for everywhere. I'm not saying that they're not in San Francisco, but Arkansas being my hometown, having familiar faces, that's something that I do miss.
All right, so last thing, big game tomorrow, Tennessee. I don't want to if I ask for a prediction or anything like that, but how are you feeling about Arkansas versus Tennessee tomorrow, and what do they need to do? What's key to beat the Volunteers?
Last year we played Tennessee really well. We didn't come out with the win. I know we lost early in the year, but we played them really well. JD had a really good game in that game, and JT, I think, if I can recall. But just attacking, just playing downhill. They like to slow it down and slow down the pace of the game so we're able to speed them up and not allow them to slow us down. I think we'll have a good chance of being successful.
Sounds good. Well, I know you're excited to be there at the game, and be plenty of fans that will be excited to see you as well. Thanks for some of your time today, Moses. This was very unexpected, and we really appreciate it.
No problem.
Hey, appreciate it, Moses. Have a good rest of your season.
All right, thanks.
Moses Moody, always a Razorback. We can't go with the former there. Used to see him at the baseball games, too. The basketball players love coming out for baseball games.
What did Maddie tell us earlier in the week? Once a hog, always a hog.
That's the absolute truth.
Right?
That's the absolute truth. That was fun. I
loved it. That was great.
You got an NBAer, a lottery pick, NBA. And we had no clue that he was coming on. And Drew's the happiest of all of us. I noticed he didn't eat very much during that interview.
Not one little bit.
No. Drew's been eating for about an hour and a half straight. And then we do NBA talk with Moses Moody.
And I'm
He's like,
focused.
Back to fasting for 15 minutes. All right, we'll wrap things up after the break. And then I got to boogie out of here because we got a baseball broadcast coming up just a little bit. Halftime to wrap it up, so don't go anywhere.
Nobody will pay you more for your trade than Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. If you want to trade in and trade up or just outright sell your vehicle, bring it to Salisaw Ford.
Yes, you are right. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford is the home of more for your trade. We want to give you more money for your vehicle than anybody else does. So even if you're not purchasing from us, you're purchasing somewhere else, give us the opportunity to purchase your vehicle. That's going to save you some money. It's going to save you monthly payment. It's going to get you a lower interest rate, get you in a better equity position, and all in all, just get you more money. So come down here and see us. We're the home of more for your trade. We want to hold to that.
And more for your trade just gives you more options on what you can buy next.
Yes, it just allows you to spend just a little bit more money, maybe get exactly what you're wanting. So come down here and see us.
Know that you're going to get the best deal at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford. Nobody will pay you more for your trade. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
At Frank Rowe Furniture in February, already marked down low sale prices plus no sales tax. That's right, you heard it right. A sale plus no sales tax. For instance, a recliner regular $6.99, sale price $5.99. With no sales tax, $5.39. That's a savings of $160. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no credit check financing, SNAP, and ASEMA financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Your local dish dealer is World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number. If you just received a price increase from your rural TV provider, hey, join us over here with Dish from World of Wireless and lock in your price for 2 years.
Call WOW now, 877-305-DISH, or go to shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com for the lowest high-def digital TV provider where you can record up to 2,000 hours on the all-new Hopper. But you got to call us at 877-305-DISH. Especially if your rural TV provider just went up $30 on all their TV packages.
Plus, you can bundle internet with TV service as well.
That's right. In a lot of rural areas, we have our own high-speed internet. We're just now launching in the Paris-Subiaco area with high-speed internet. If you've lost your internet provider over there or you're frustrated because your rural TV provider just went up $30, call WOW now. Call Dish, 877-305-DISH. We're your premier dish retailer for 27 years in the River Valley.
877-305-DISH, 877-305-3474 for World of Wireless.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
When it comes to COVID-19, there are several things you can do to protect yourself, your friends and loved ones, and your community. Wear a mask, wash your hands often, and continue to social distance when you are near other people. If you test positive or are exposed to COVID-19, you can get free, detailed information on what you need to do in order to prevent spreading COVID-19 to those around you. Just go to healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey,
it's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
One last thing to remind you about for the weekend. Hey, let's just make it tonight because it's Friday. Weekend's already started. As far as I'm concerned, we're at the end of the golden hour. Chicken fajitas at Joe's Fort Smith are just $7 throughout the day. Steak fajitas are $8. Get your black or brown beans and rice with it. And flavored margaritas are $4 all day long at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. They'll have the baseball game on the TiVo, or the various TiVos. And so that means half-price apps and taps during the game. Same tomorrow.
That it does.
Heck, you could get 6 straight hours of half-price apps and taps with baseball and then basketball. That's nuttiness.
That is incredible.
Joe's
Great
Grill,
deals.
Joe'sFortSmith.com if you'd like to order online or give him a visit across from the Harps. That's Joe's Grill and Cantina. Well, that was a lot of fun talking with Moses Moody.
It was great.
He does have an old soul quality to him. Same with Jalen Williams. Guys with old souls are good teammates.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
I think Moses was a tremendous teammate here, and I think Jalen Williams is a great teammate too.
I mean, I've been called an old soul by our good friend B.E. who showed up. We got to see old B.E. before the show started, so am I a good teammate to you?
Yes. I had to think about it just for a brief moment.
Phil.
No, for a moment I confused you with Bubba.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of listeners coming out here today.
Yeah.
We got Steakhouse, we had B.E., Ryan in Prairie Grove,
He's right
John
over there.
in Fayetteville was
Yeah.
here. That's right. Former SID for baseball. Just can't even imagine that he's not at the game
Ryan's
anymore.
over there licking his fingers. He's munching down with his family for lunch.
That's right. I saw Ryan walked in. He's got a holster that's got his pliers in the holster.
They
And
look like crab crackers.
I thought
didn't
they were crab crackers.
did
I thought
too.
he came prepared to eat shellfish with his own personal crab cracker that he keeps in a holster.
See, and I thought I was a hardcore crab eater, being a descendant of a Baltimorean. But apparently, I'm not as hardcore as Ryan though, because I don't carry around my crackers just everywhere I go.
You know, I meant to get to this earlier, but we can kick it around for now. But this is a topic of conversation throughout the entire college baseball season. I don't have the quote or the audio from it, but Dave Van Horn at his presser yesterday referred to
shenanigans.
Did he say shenanigans?
He said shenanigans.
He said shenanigans. And people are wondering like what team he's referring to, because Arkansas plays the game with a certain. I don't want to call it like a level of respect. They're just not showy about.
They're not chatty.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us. Now they'll bat flip. They'll Robert Moore, when he runs around the bases on a home run, might put the arms out every once in a while, but it's not a team-wide thing. No dance routines.
They're not chirpy, is what they don't chirp at the other team.
No, they don't, and they also don't, for me, over-celebrate. You know, and I think some folks think that it goes to the other extreme of not showing enough emotion. I think they show emotion that's just fine. There's a professional way that.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
I still had trouble spelling that word properly. That's a tough one to spell. But I don't know who was he referring to exactly. Some people thought it was Alabama. Alabama, first of all, is not good enough to do shenanigans anyway, so I don't think it was them. And they don't do it. I think I don't remember them doing all that stuff. They did win 16-0 against Arkansas in one game. You'd be moronic to, chirp and have shenanigans knowing you get 2 games left at Baum-Walker Stadium, so I don't know if it was them. I've seen Kentucky act a little bit of the fool in games at Baum-Walker.
Why?
Exactly. Why would you when you're Kentucky baseball?
The only SEC team to never make a Omaha appearance.
But I think it was Mississippi he was referring to.
He is. Mississippi or Tennessee. I think maybe a little bit of Tennessee from last year, but as far as like the long span of Dave Van Horn's career, it's been Ole Miss. They love to chirp. They love to get in their face.
They love themselves some Ole Miss.
Oh, they do. And the beer showers in left field, the greatest tradition of all college baseball. Get the heck out of here,
That's the
man.
fans. The fans are doing that thing. It's the stuff the players do during the game with their cutesy dance routines and the weirdest – whatever they do with their hands in the fifth, sixth inning, it's just the most
over the dugout rail.
It looks like they're trying to milk an elephant when they're doing that. It's the dumbest dance I've ever seen in my life. And it's weird stuff. They stand outside of the dugout watching their video with their arms around each other, just sort of lounging there, just sort of hanging out. It's just goofy stuff.
Love the Enzer that came out of you there with the hanging out there. But it's the frattiness. It's the it's Ole Miss. It's the brotherhood type of mentality. It's all about the brotherhood, man. Like, you have brotherhood and teammates. Like, I still have old teammates from Showcase Ball, from, even going back to competitive baseball that I've played in 12 that I still talk to occasionally. Like, you get brotherhood and teammate, lifelong friends anywhere. It's not just Ole Miss. And being somebody who's played at Swayze and Baum beats it every day.
I agree.
Twice on Sunday.
I agree. And Baum Walker doesn't have marble counters in the radio booth, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, too. It's just Mississippi. Thank goodness we're not going there this year. They got to come here. I will say, the psycho pitcher, Wes Burton, I kind of like the kid. I kind of like him.
Because he's crazy?
He buys into his own craziness and doesn't seem to take himself too seriously. Anyway, we'll see what happens when they visit us. But I'm pretty sure Dave was talking about Ole Miss without saying Old Maid.
Oh, did you see what they just got put right there?
Is that more food for you?
More food. I'm stacking up, bringing it back to Memphis. I'm going to call my brother and be like, hey,
all right,
don't eat dinner.
We'll drive safe.
I will.
I want to do the show with you on Monday. I'm headed to Baum. Have a great weekend, folks.
Save thousands of dollars with manager specials this month at Harry Robinson Saddle Hall Ford, 1 mile